Hey everyone, have you ever wondered how love can transcend boundaries and break cultural barriers? Today, we dive into an extraordinary love story set in the 1930s during British colonial times. The Sleeping Dictionary takes us on a journey where a British officer falls in love with a local girl, sparking a romance that defies societal norms and traditions. This film is packed with romance, conflict, and heartwarming moments that will keep you hooked until the very end. Will John and Salima's love survive the trials ahead? Stick around as we explore every twist and turn in this beautifully crafted movie. Trust me, you won't want to miss a thing. So in the beginning of the story, we see a village named Sarabak, where an Englishman named John comes, who meets a boy named Belansai. He takes John with him in a boat, and on the way, some women of the tribe smiles at John. Belansai introduces John to the governor of their area, Henry, and while going with him, John tells him that his father had come here once, and he wanted to educate the tribal people here, but he died before that. So he has come here to fulfill his father's dream. After which, Henry shows him the place to live, where there were a lot of insects. He introduces John to their chef, who was a formal criminal. In the next scene, Belansai takes John to his people, where he meets Belansai's father, Melaka, who was the tribe's leader. Here a girl named Salema welcomes John with a drink. When he sees Salema, he falls for her at the first sight. John mingles with the tribe and learns their customs. Salema comes with some girls and perform a beautiful dance, after which it was John's turn to entertain everyone, where he was feeling a little shy, and when he starts reciting the poem taught in his academy, then everyone stare at him in a strange way. Seeing this, John takes Belansai and starts dancing with him, and everyone starts laughing, seeing them, after which it is time for them to sleep and everyone leave. At night, when John wakes up, he sees some people carrying a man's severed head, and John thinks it is a dream and goes back to sleep. Next morning, when John and Henry are talking, we come to know that the people of that tribe made a deal with some Chinese people without telling Henry. And now Henry wants the heads of those Chinese people at any cost. But before John can say anything, Salima comes there, and Henry says that from now on she will stay with you to teach their language and will also warm your bed. Hearing this, John refuses because he had taken an oath that he will not make a relationship with anyone before marriage. But Henry says that this is the only way to teach you their language, where John agrees, but he will not sleep with her, after which Salima agrees to stay with him. But John does not even look at her. Next day, Belansai gives John the heads of those Chinese people, but everyone was laughing at it. And when Salima sees it, there were some monkey heads in it, and she scolds everyone for making fun of John. When he comes back home, his chef had brought his nephew because he thought that John likes boys. As a result, John gets angry and asks him to leave from there, and here he gets angry at Salima too, and she takes her stuff and leaves from there. Next morning, when John comes out, he sees that Salima was outside, because if she goes back to her people, then everyone will think that Salima is not beautiful, and that is why John refuses to sleep with her. Hearing this, John asks her to stay with him, and she agrees too, after which we see Henry's wife Aggie, who was making some children cut their trees in front of their office by luring them with money. Then John comes there, and Aggie asks him, "Why don't you like Salima? You should sleep with Salima, otherwise Henry will think that you have some problem down there," and he leaves from there, where on the other hand, Henry wanted the head of those Chinese people at any cost. At night, Salima was teaching John their language, and she slowly starts coming close to him, but John controls himself and goes to sleep. Here Salima tells him that if you do not do anything before marriage, then you will not be able to keep your wife happy after marriage, where John starts laughing and tells her to sleep. Next day, when John was with Salima and the children, Belansai comes there where John challenges him for an underwater battle. Both of them get into the water in front of the whole tribe and dive inside, where after a minute, Belansai comes out, but John was still inside. Everyone gets worried, but then after 2 minutes he comes out and gives Belansai his on-season mask, where he wins. In the next scene, John gives Henry his head, and here he tells John that after a few days, his daughter Cecilia is going to come here, who is well educated and he will like her. After which, when Selima and John were talking while reading a book at night, they come to know that both of their fathers have died. And here, John comes close to Selima and starts touching her body, and Selima starts telling him their meaning. John is unable to control himself and starts kissing her, where both of them get intimate. And now, John slowly started forgetting his oath and starts sleeping with Selima every day. But Selima never slept with him for the whole night, because according to their custom, if both of them open their eyes together in the morning, then they will have to get married. One day, John gets ready and goes to Henry, where his daughter Cecilia had come. And we also see a man named Neville here. Cecilia and John were talking about the customs in the tribe, where Cecilia was doing research on their tribe. But when he talks about that custom of theirs, in which a woman of this tribe sleeps with an English officer, then Henry says that there is no love in that relationship. But John did not agree with him, and Henry scolds him. After which, when he comes home, Selima is ready. She comes in front of him, and John starts loving her. The next day, when Cecilia and John were with the tribe, they come to know that they are having a land dispute with their neighboring tribe, and John suggests them that whoever pulls this rope, that land will be theirs, and Belansai's tribe wins, after which Cecilia takes pictures of Selima, which she does not like. John tries to stop Cecilia, but she does not listen to him, and then Henry calls John, where Selima does not like it when he leaves. Henry sees that they have found 2 dead bodies in the river, which were people of Yak tribe, and they died due to some disease. Henry wanted to go to Yak tribe and investigate it, and he takes Selima and Belansai with him too. Henry agrees to him. After some time, Aggie comes to John and tells him that Henry will help John in building a school, but in return, John will marry their daughter Cecilia, and she leaves from there. At night, when John comes to Selima and tells her that I like you, Selima angrily says that I have slept with many men like you, and my job is to only warm your bed. After which, the next day, they all take a boat and go towards Yak tribe, and at one place in the forest, they find another dead body. When they reach their tribe, many people there were suffering from this disease, and then someone shoots at Henry, and he wanted to go after him, where Belansai and John see that some miners were mining silver nearby, and when they come back, there was no one there. And Selima also got that disease, due to which everyone ran away. Then some soldiers of Yak tribe come there, and John comes to know that Yak had taken some rice from those miners, in which he had mixed drugs, so that the tribal people run away and they get a place to mine. John tells them about the incident, and they attack all the miners and kill them. On the other hand, John expresses his love to Selima, and she hugs him after hearing this. But when Henry comes back and finds out about this, he refuses John outright, and Selima's people also ask her to marry someone else, and if she does not do this, Henry will send John to jail for the crime of killing those miners. Henry and his wife tell John about this, and after hearing this, he goes to meet Selima, where those people had held her captive. John tries to get her out, but Henry comes there, and when he asks to send John to jail, Selima agrees to the marriage, and John's heart breaks. In the next scene, we see a year later where Cecilia and John were getting married in London, and on the night of their honeymoon, Cecilia tells him that she knows everything about him and Selima, but she has no problem with it. She is not there, and John says that she is married to Belansai, and they have a child too. After a few days, John takes Cecilia back to the village where his school was built, and Neville used to work there. At night, when everyone was watching a movie, John's attention was somewhere else, and Cecilia understands that. She takes off her clothes in front of John in his room and starts loving him, but she cannot resist because she knew that John still loves Selima. John explains to her that a long time has passed since that incident, and she has forgotten him. Next day, John sees Selima and Belansai with their child near the river, but then his chef tells him that the child is not Belansai's, but John's. Hearing this, he asks to meet Selima, and at night, Selima comes to him where John wanted to see his child, and Selima says that if someone sees them both together, they will kill them. When he sees his son, he is exactly like him. Next day, when he is making a toy for him, Aggie comes to him and says that nothing can happen between him and Salima, and threatens him, but he does not listen to her. He starts playing with his son, where Neville sees him. One night, Belansai comes to kill John, but Salima saves his life. Henry gets angry at John, because now he will have to kill Belansai, and here John comes to know that Salima was Henry's second daughter, which is a secret no one knows. In the next scene, John asks Belansai about his crimes in front of everyone, and he also accepts them, but John does not punish him, and Henry gives him one last warning. At night, when Salima was begging John for Belansai's life, Cecilia sees them, and the next day was the day of Belansai's punishment, and John is forced to sentence him to death, but secretly at night he frees him. He tells Salima that he will take her away tomorrow and asks her to come to the shipping dock, where she agrees. The next morning, Henry is angry with John because he knows that he is the one who freed Belansai, while Neville wants to keep Salima with him, and she has to agree to his demand. On the other hand, when John comes to Cecilia, she tells him that she is pregnant, and on hearing this, John is shocked. At night, Neville is harassing Salima, and at the same time, Henry celebrates as he was going to become a grandparent. At night, when John was leaving a letter for Cecilia, Cecilia sees it, but she will not tell this to anyone because she knows that he never loved her. They both hug each other, and Cecilia asks John to leave. Her chef knocks Neville unconscious, and he takes Salima to the dock, but she does not see John anywhere. By the time John reaches there, their boat had already left. The chef tells him that Salima has gone through the jungle. He starts following her. When Salima was taking her son, Henry comes in front of her, but he does not stop her, but asks her to go and meet him. Salima also knew that he is her father. Henry says goodbye to her and lets her go. On the other hand, Neville wanted to find both of them in the jungle, but Henry does not allow him to do so. When Aggie tries to convince them, Cecilia tells them that Salima is her sister. Hearing this, she secretly leaves Neville in the jungle. John goes and orders to kill both of them. John was searching for Salima in the jungle and finds her at a place, but then Neville comes there and ties them both up. When he starts misbehaving with Salima, John attacks him in anger, and Neville throws him on the ground and tries to kill him. Then some people from the tribe come there and hit him with poisonous darts, and Neville dies. In the next scene, we see that John and Salima started living with the tribe, and they both are happy. The movie ends here. So friends, do tell me in the comments how you liked the movie. I will meet you in the next video.